What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Daniel Dubois, Frank Warren, and Trevor Bryan. Daniel Dubois versus Trevor Bryan will be pursued, says Frank Warren. Frank Warren, the promoter for Daniel Dubois, will push for his boxer to get a mandatory crack at the WBA regular champion, Trevor Bryan, which is 21-0 with 15 KOs. On Saturday night, Dubois captured the WBA's interim heavyweight title when he demolished Bogdan Dinu, which is now 23-16, with a big knockout in the second round. After an aggressive first round, Dubois landed a massive right hand to send Dinu down for the full count in the second. Warren is now hoping that the WBA will order a mandatory fight between Dubois and Bryan. He said, "I hope they do. That's what we agreed would happen before the fight. We'll push that and see if we can get it over the line," Warren said. The 23-year-old Daniel Dubois returned for the first time since suffering, of course, his sole defeat of his career when he was stopped by Joe Joyce in their high-stakes fight Saturday, or should I say last November. It was a devastating loss as Dubois was ahead on the cards when he fractured an orbital bone, forced him to take a knee for the full count in the 10th round. He says, "I'm coming back on my feet and I'm ready to take over," Dubois told IFL TV. "There will be a bit of demons in my head, but once I get in the flow of things, I just let go, and there you go." So, let me counterpunch. Trevor Bryan, I think, at this point, if I'm Trevor Bryan, I wouldn't want to fight Daniel Dubois. I wouldn't. If you're the WBA and you know that you have a chance to fight for the unified championship, whoever that is, I would rather fight Joshua than Dubois. But more than likely, that's if I'm Trevor Bryan, because I'm the WBA regular. So since I'm the WBA regular, I want sky's the limit, not the limit's the sky. Right? So I want to fight whoever that unified champion is so I can get a bigger fight purse, because that's a much bigger fight than someone that's an interim that wants to push to get my belt that I have. And it's just a regular title. So he could get the piss beat out of him by Daniel Dubois, get knocked out, for a few $100,000 maybe. I wouldn't think that would be a good vision or a good look for Trevor Bryan. But if you're Daniel Dubois, you would want one of those titles to claim the heavyweight championship. It's better than the British title. It's bigger than all that stuff. So at least it's on the major sanctioning bodies. So since he's the interim, I think he should, that exactly what Frank Warren, he should promote Daniel Dubois to do, or push for Daniel Dubois to do, okay, and to get that fight. But the thing that bothers me about this, that stuck out to me reading this article, is that he said there were a bit of demons in my head. I wondered, watching the first beginning of that fight, Bogdan was able to pop some good jabs in his face. And see, understand something. Not everyone's going to be bigger. Not everybody's going to be the juggernaut. Nobody's going to be that heavy-handed or punch that hard. But due to current pre-existing injuries, that could be a problem for him. He's going to have to learn defense. That robotic, that's Daniel Dubois. Now, he can throw those bows, but he has to know how to avoid those bows, okay? Because if he doesn't, he's going to end up possibly re-injuring that eye. And then how the skull works, people. How do you think Kell Brook went in one fight, broke one eye socket, orbital bone socket, and then went in the very next fight and broke the other one? How do you think that happened? It happened because once you start fracturing things, fractures are worse than breaking. So sorry, fracture. Fracture is different from breaking. When something fractured, it chips. That's bad. And when something starts chipping, you know how it is. You ever chip bark off a tree? Same deal. Okay? So it's easier for that to happen again if it's not properly healed. But overall, Again, look at Kell Brook. Perfect example. Golovkin, then Errol Spence. Come on. So, yes, those type of things happen. So, knowing that, saying all that to say this, he needs to learn some defense. And the demons in his head, if he's like a deer in headlights, he's going to get popped with that jab. And if it's somebody heavy-handed, he's going to be in trouble, especially when he sustains multiple punches to that area. But the most important thing, he doesn't have an answer for that punch. He doesn't have head movement. Come on, head movement. He needs to learn that. That needs to be something that he works on. So whoever that's trained, Shane McGuigan needs to get with him and teach him defense. He doesn't have to worry about power. I remember, if you guys can remember Jermaine Taylor, he was the he was the former undisputed middleweight champion. He beat Bernard Hopkins twice. But what his trainer taught him to do, his trainer tied his right hand and made him just use his left. I think Shane McGuigan should have only a defense session 2 or 3 days a week with Daniel Dubois, with him only working on head movement until it becomes second nature, till he gets sick of it. Like, can I punch? No, you can't punch. You know what I mean? This is not a punching drill. It's a defensive drill. And I think those type of things should happen, honestly. And I feel that Daniel Dubois, he is a good challenger. Okay. But until he shows me head movement, he's just a guy that can easily be beaten with a simple jab. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Frank Warren pushing for Trevor Bryan's WBA regular title. Tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.